Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As most of you are already seated, please, for those of you who've just joining us, please be seated. We shall be starting our afternoon session. We have two wonderful panels. There's still empty seats in front. Please be seated. Thank you very much for joining us for this afternoon session. We will have two wonderful spotlight panel sessions. We'll be discussing generative AI and everything associated with AI. Empty seats. We still have empty seats here. We still have empty seats here in front. Okay, as instructed by my boss, my captain, Mr. Stan, we shall be starting right now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our 2025 ASOCIO Digital Summit. For our afternoon session, two wonderful spotlight panels. We'll be focusing on AI service, AI infrastructure. So, without further ado, for our first panel, it would be on the theme of AI service, a discussion on how AI delivers as a service in transforming our industries, streamlining our operations, and enabling our innovations across all sectors. Now, our moderator, please welcome Mr. Jason Yibingling, Lifetime Chair Professor from National Yangming Jiao Tong University. 主持人, Professor, please be seated. And our panelists, wonderful panel, welcoming Professor Dr. Tirani Achalakul, President of Big Data Institution. Please come onto the stage. Mr. Ryo Fujita Sensei, dozo, Technical Expert of TIS Inc., Business Innovation Division, AI Robotics Innovation Department. Mr. Tony Chu, Senior Director of Acer E-Enabling Service Business Incorporated. Last but not least, Mr. Woon Tai-hoi, Advisor of PCOM. 안녕하세요. I must mention this, Mr. Arup Maiti, President and Co-founder of Xamun AI, he couldn't make it because there's a super typhoon around Taiwan right now. But for now, without further ado, any seats would do, as long as you're on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our moderator with our applause.
Thank you. This is the first panel of the ASOCIO Digital Summit. Okay, and okay. So this morning, the keynote speech already gave us a lot of evidence that the AI technology is quite different from traditional ICT technology. So of course, the AI service is quite different from the traditional ICT service, right? So in this panel, we have 4 distinguished panelists to discuss with us about different aspects of AI services. So let's first welcome the panelist, Mr. Wen. You can do whatever you want. We are AI, right? Here, you can see here.
Okay. All right. Then I'll sit down here. Okay. Microphone. Thank you. I'm a bit nervous because a lot of my colleagues here. Hello. Yes, y'all hear me? My name is Woon. I'm from Malaysia. I'm appointed advisor for PCOM, similar to your CISA, GISA, and all that. I'll try my best. I was given choices of infrastructure. I'm not interested in infrastructure. I'm more interested in services. Very quickly, I used to write programs 40 years ago. I write machine language, assembler, but it's different today. Previously, our program is always what we call, is that called binary? 1-0 binary? Yeah. Today is not. Today, let me go through some of the things. Okay. I need my paper. I'm not like the professor. They're very good in lecturing. Okay. I want to bring when the services was introduced to me, the first thing that I thought in my mind was trust. And guess what? This morning we already launched this policy, and I think it's very timely. Yeah. So services and trust, and these policies are very key. Okay. I'm not going to sort of go through every one of them, but you'll have a soft copy. If not disseminated, will be done to you soon. So basically, the way I look at it, trust is the foundation stone to all AI services. Okay, I won't mention AI. I don't just say IT services. Okay, regardless of technology use, regardless really whether it's the latest or not latest, it is a foundation stone. And it's the people that matters. So you notice I'm bringing another subject matter here, the people interaction. And it's also where the uncertainty and potential risk arises. I'll talk about the risk, the future risk, what I see the future risk, of AI, not just services, the whole deployment. Okay, I think we have the key. Okay. Push the button, you see. I'm an IT guy. I need a professor to tell me to push the button. This button, right? The green button, right? Yeah. You see AI, so I think it can help me. I think good luck, very good. Because
I'll do it.
you do it.
You
Yeah,
say
okay.
next.
I wish I got an AI to do it for me.
I can be that.
Okay, give me the AI. So basically, when we talk about services, thank you, Agli. Akil, sorry. I want to bring another word here, value-based. AI services requires what I call a shift from hardware, software to what and why. I think that's important. I think this one you all know lah. All your IT one, the value base is very important. But value to your customers, to your vendors, to everyone. Okay. Okay. The key areas of focus is on understandable, easy to adapt for your audience, business stakeholders, developers, and end users. And what I call important is responsible AI and trust offerings. These are key, including, I want to use the word because this just came in, empathy. You know what's empathy? That means when you write a program, empathize for the person who's going to use it. Okay, that was just came in after I prepared the notes. Now, just very quickly in the report that we just presented, there's things like fairness, reliability, safety, privacy, data governance, inclusivity, accountability, transparent, and human being. These are words that you have heard a lot, and it's not something that we just came up. Okay, but what is the important part is the outcome of all this. Following this, I call it what's the word I use? Uh, Milestone now. Okay, is fairness and bias mitigation. Now that is the key to our services introduction, deployment, or system in the future. Transparency, explainability, ethical responsibility, compliance, and of course governance. So it's not good enough to have the 7 fantastic words, but you must have this outcome in mind. You know. Now, why is it? I already said just now, it's not a binary outcome. In those of you are programmers is 1 or 0, right or wrong. Today is not. Today, any AI deployment, there's a lot of gray areas. Not just now, maybe in the future. Gray area, uncertainty, biasness. And since the AI start learning themselves, they might learn the wrong thing, for example. Okay, so that's why binary outcome is not like hardware or even software, which is either 1 or 0. And okay, just very quickly, next one, please. What are some of the current services, such as customer-facing AI? Let me just run through this. I think that you can read from there. What are some? I just quickly pick up some of the things that we use. I'm from the insurance company, reinsurance company. Sorry, thank you for that. I'm from the reinsurance company, Insurance in Malaysia, basically Islamic insurance. So we are also slowly implementing automation via AI, but very basic type, robotic and all that. So things like, I think you can read from there. I won't go through that because I just want to conclude with one very important notes here is the human intervention. The human intervention is the key thing that a lot of people might be forgetting, thinking that why don't we use AI? We don't need, so things like replacement of job and all that, displacement of job. I think the displacement of job is not displacement, is you got to reskill yourself. There'll be some jobs that'll be displaced, I think there will be. But ultimately, it has to be the human intervention. The decision making is still the human, okay? The final intervention is still the human. You can't leave it to the robotic. 2 weeks ago, one of the ministers in Malaysia suggested, why don't we use a date switch? What do you call that? Kill switch. Thank you. Kill switch. Why don't we use a kill switch when something not happen? But how do you know what you don't know? How do you know when to use the kill switch? So the kill switch still have to be a human intervention, human interaction, human decision. Now that's, if you forget whatever I say today, remember that human intervention must stay throughout this AI journey that we are going. We must stay, all right? Don't just displace human there, because I think that's the critical one. And the future risk is we don't know what we don't know. That's my thing. So I think with that, I just finish my talk, and later we can talk about some of the questions that we have discussed ourselves, and then we can go further on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, for the human intervention, we also need education to know how to play with the AI. So later I'll give you some question, okay? Our second panelist is Professor Tierney. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Tierney Ajlakun here. I used to be a professor at universities, but now I moved and become a president of Big Data Institute under the Ministry of Digital Economy, working for government, quite frankly, full-time now. Can
Smart
you
move.
reset the clock for me, please, so I know how long did I...
Yeah.
All right, so today my talk will separate into 2 sessions. First is I like to talk about a little bit about National AI Plan of Thailand, because we have national AI committees where the Prime Minister was the chair, and now we release sort of a short paper summarizing what Thailand is planning to do with AI. And the second part, I'll show you some of the AI services for government that Big Data Institute, together with some other agencies, has helped created. So first, this is our They're trying to set the clock for me. Otherwise, I won't know how long I have been talking. Anyway, this is the national AI strategies. You know how one picture summarized the whole paper. At the very base of this house of AI, we have investment. We encourage investment for data center and cloud. So far, it has been almost most of the country from the West and from China as well that come invest to build the cloud centers so that we can control things a lot better. At the base, the second layer is we're talking about enabling factors. How do we encourage people to come and invest in Thailand, and also how do we encourage Thai industry to adopt AI faster? So those are both tax and non-tax. Can I have my slide back on my panel as well? Tax and non-tax programs, so that people can, like, if a company were to buy AI license for their employees, they can get deduction, things like that. So these are enabling factors that I think the government is emphasizing on. Now the important part is, other than the two base, the AI plan has two things that Thai government consider. First is how to build readiness for Thailand, and the second is how to encourage adoption in Thai industry. In readiness, if you can look at that poll, there are three separate sections related to readiness. The first one on the top left. Hang on one sec. Let's wait a little bit for the technology to catch up. I can memorize it by heart. I can keep talking, but then you won't see the graphics. Here comes, the slides are back. Is it? All right. At least that is back. Now, task force building is the very first pillar of how to build readiness for any countries, not just Thailand. And I guess for Thai government, we start looking into national research policies that emphasize AI a little bit better. We divided a bucket into three buckets of people we like to have manpower built. The first one is user. When you say user, it means people who know how to use AI effectively, efficiently for their work. So that's the first thing. We aim to build to upskill, reskills, and go into education programs for about 10 million people in the next 5 years. 10 million is a lot. Thailand is a country of about 70 million, so that's 1/7 of the whole country. So it will be a programs that go through Ministry of Education. It will be convocational school, university students, upskill, reskills. It's not just the job of one agencies, but the whole country will help with that. The second batch is what we call professional and innovators. We aim at 90,000 people in the next 5 years. 90,000, this batch means people who are non-IT at first, but understand enough AI to innovate AI services that fits the domain expertise that they have. The third batch is what we call developer and researcher. These are a little bit high up in the chain of skills in terms of how to build AI, develop AI, write programs. We aim at 50,000 people in the next 5 years. So this is the first building block, AI task force. The second one is infrastructure building. I'm not talking cloud, that's just the base. This is AI infrastructure building. There's three things that we're looking into. The very last box is called National Data Bank. That's what Big Data Institute is helping with a lot. I mean, for you to build an AI that works, for example, if you want to have a Thai large language models that can understand Thai in the Thai context and Thai culture, you need a lot of Thai text to train it. And the text that used to train need to be labeled. So building a national bank where we gathered a lot of government available data into one bucket and try to have it open license to startups and SME to come build on top. That's the goal. And then we do two things in parallel. We're trying to build open source AI infrastructure as well as engage global tech AI infrastructure to come in and invest in the country. Because to build our own, it will take some time. But I think every country will start building your own AI just for two things, right? First is sovereignty aspect of it. Digital sovereignty, AI sovereignty. If the world gone wild, we still have some technology to fall back on. In Thailand, we start building what we call Thai large language model, so that at least we'll have chatbot. It's come to worse, we still have that. And so the first thing is sovereignty. The second thing is inclusivity. I think if the government invests in building things that people can build on top, then we can control the cost. You can't with global tech infrastructure. So those are the two things that we're trying to build in parallel along with the National Data Bank. The third component is AI governance, like Dr. Woon says. Basically, we know very little of after AI is deployed in massive scale, what will happen. And I think none of the country knows. So in Thailand, we plan two things. First is that regulatory sandbox. We will not rush into release a law that govern AI because that will kill the technology. So we release a guideline similar to what EU has done, and then divide that into risk-based assessment levels. And then with that, if, say, people were to deploy AI for medical, it can go into the sandbox and see what kind of regulation, what kind of rules, what kind of benchmark that we actually need in order for it to work. So that's the first block. The second is benchmark and standard center. Um, Otherwise, you never know. People keep talking about AI having hallucination, bias, data set that trains AI. So basically, you need something to be able to benchmark it, that this is good enough in comparison to international standards. So those are the three pillars, basically, to build the country's readiness. Now, in parallel to building readiness, we plan to do sectorial AI adoption, which we aims at 6, 7, 8 adoption together when in parallel. If you look at these slides, right now with the National AI Plan, we have released 10 COEs, Center of Excellence, in 10 different things. 6 of the 10 are sector-based, like education, creative industry, agriculture, manufacturing, health and wellness, and tourism. These are the 6 industries that Thailand will be focusing on at first. And then we have another 4 excellence centers that cut across all of the sectors. One is Thai LM. Thai LM is Thai Large Language Model. The second one is AI Computing Center. And then we have Standard and Benchmark Center, and then Safety and Security for all of AI. So with all these 10 Center of Excellence, what Thai government is planning to do is to form what we call a Thai National AI Consortium on the green box. These green box, people who join in all these green boxes are mainly private sectors who work already in AI in different ways. There's some investor, there's some people from AI tech engineering, some legal, some manpower development people come together and to help orchestrate 10 center of excellence so that we go into one direction and develop together. So that's basically the AI plan that Thailand has released probably like a year ago, and it will be carry on for the next 5 years. Now, I like to give you some of the example of uh, AI services that has been deployed. The first one is in tourism industry. I mean, I have worked. I mean, my division has worked with immigration, importing immigration data in. They generally keep the data for national security purposes, but we take that data, hashing out all of the personal identification and use it for tourism boosting, basically. So the first thing that the tourism authority wants to know is, can we predict how many people from which country were to come in this December? Questions like that, for example. To be able to answer that, you need to use a little bit of AI, but it's not like the fancy generative AI. It is basically analytic AI or data science that a lot of us has been used to for a while now. So basically, we take immigration data, we do flight radar and all the flight information, we map them all together, and then we train the models, and then evaluation, test it a little bit, and then we do inbound passenger prediction. This particular data sets, the immigration data sets, can be used to answer a lot of questions. For example, a few months ago, one of the government agencies asked me, should we extend visa for the Chinese to 90 days? I mean, it seems like an easy questions to answer, but it's not. You need to go through all of the stats and see. The first thing I can tell them is that right now, on average, the Chinese who come for tourism stay for 15 days. So basically, to extend it to 90 will not increase tourism, but it may increase something else. So that's the one of the questions. Or a lot of questions can be answered if you have data sets. So from people entering the border of the country, we do the prediction of that so that a lot of private sectors can do inventory plannings and all that. The second thing is after they come into the country, they stay at some of the hotel tourists, right? The problem that tourism authority found is that all the hotel name listed everywhere on Google, on Agoda, on Trip, or anywhere else has different names, variation of the same name, but it's read differently. So not having a master ID for hotels is difficult. To matching all of the names that these are actually the same hotel, you need some AI technique to do that. So we actually get hotel information from many, many, many sources, web scraping including, and then we use Qianwen or Quen, which is last language models released by the Chinese, and then use it to map data basically. So we use Google, Agoda, TripAdvisor, and all that, and then try to map the name, clean the nicest set, and then do a training using recurrent neural network or INN called BISLSTM, and then matching them and create a master ID for the properties so that we can count and know. Because the user journey, once they enter the country, they stay at the first nights, and then we also bought mobility data so we know where they travel to. So that's pretty much follow the whole user journeys using basic AI that many of you have already heard of. The last one in tourism that we do is that we are creating a chatbot for tourists. The first version next year will have 3 languages. That is the English, Chinese, and I believe would be Russian or Spanish. Still decided the third language. So for do this, basically, we'll answer basic questions. Thailand launched what we call TDAC or Thailand Digital Arrival Card. So advise how to fill that, how to get to that website, how to fill in that form. Advice on local attractions for trip planning and emergency contact, since security became a problem, so we can know who to contact when. So that will be built into the chatbot using basic LM models to train. And we don't, Big Data Institute, we do data integration more so than develop an app. So we just do integration and back-end services, and then we plug into immigration website or tourism authority websites so that tourists when enter Thailand can access that. It should be launched probably sometimes next year. Now, the second set of service that I'll want to share with you is something called Health Link. In Thailand, we started working on Health Link a while back. Basically, it's the health information exchange engine where if you go to hospital A today and tomorrow you go to hospital B, doctors from hospital B can see your patient's record from hospital A by a push of a button. So basically, it was a design to be a mechanism to exchange data. Not a lot to do with AI, but data exchange, and we don't keep or store patient's record either. It's just sending for the doctor to see and then delete it out of the systems. So having HealthLink, we delivered health data record to doctors, to PHR, personal health records on citizen phone, and also to do electronic refer case reference. We come to use AI at the very last stage. In Thailand, there is a government insurer for health insurer called National Health Security Office, SAPASASHA, right? So what they do is that they have to approve, audit all of the records sent before paying the hospital the money. So they have to look into all of that. Basic AI has been used to help screen and audit, meaning that the record that has wrong code will be detected, reject. And then if the auditor wants to see actual patient's record, they can push a button and HealthLink can feed in the patient's record to see if the diagnosed code is correct, medical code is correct, and all of that. So AI used with HealthLink on insurance purposes. And after that, we have access to National Health Security Office data, so we can start doing health promotion big data. Because Ministry of Public Health in Thailand believe that the best way to save money on government insurance for health is to do health promotion, so people get sick less and don't go to hospital unless it's necessary. So we have developed quite a few AI models, mostly analytic AI. Like we look into people with CKD stage 5 where you need dialysis, right? Look at their medical records. And now if you use enough records of that, number of that, you can predict who might need to get on stage 5 dialysis in the next year or so, and identify that and start doing health promotions to those batch of citizens so that to reduce, NCDs. So that's one possible problems that we can solve using big data for healthcare. And we also work with Bangkok metropolitan authorities. They have the programs that they have to go through each and every houses in Bangkok for about 1 million citizens in Bangkok to do health check. We summarize and use AI to do prediction and help with the health promotions and collecting behaviors of all that. Since big data also integrate data in environments and all, so we can use environmental data like PM 2.5 or flood and link it with the health problem and see if PM 2.5 actually cause health problem that they have to go to hospital, how many % is that in which area. So those are basically AI services that a lot of our ministry has worked on to try to get to it. Since there's no clock running, I have no idea how long I have been talking. Should I finish now? That's why I request for the clock, because I can time myself and now I have no idea. I share with you the very last case then. TPSO, GISTA, and BDI has joined hand together and worked with Ministry of Commerce in terms of agriculture prediction using satellite images. So we use multi-satellite, multispectral, low Earth orbit imagery to compute what we call vegetation index so that we can map it to where we planted rice in Thailand. The key is this: Thailand, sometimes we have oversupplies of rice and the price got dumped to the very low place that we have to do insurance for farmer, and that's bad. We want to know in advance. So basically we use that to forecast the harvest and total production volumes of each year using satellite images alone. It's not like 100% accuracy, but good enough so that you know that rice milling local adoption capacities would be how much and which place is oversupply. We do a YOY or year on year every 3 months and see if the period this year is a lot more than last year. If it is, then we can alert. Using dashboard like this, you can see the red zone, the blue zone, and then Ministry of Commerce can plan. Like if we need to export rice more, where and how much would be appropriate price in comparison to the world situations, and which part of Thailand will oversupply. We have oversupply on that. So that's another services that use basic AI to predict and to see what government can do better, more efficient, if agencies are collaboration in integrating data and using it for analytics. Let me stop here and then we can come later on with questions. Thank you.
So now we'll have Mr. Rio.
Can I have my clock? Or
Everybody waiting for the
okay, yes, not.
transparent. No,
Not yet?
they are loading for you. Don't worry about clock. Don't worry.
All right. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rio from TIS, and today I'd like to talk about our generative AI platform and some of its latest applications. All right, so first of all, who am I? I joined TIS in 2024, but I have more than a decade of experience in data science and AI. I've led several AI projects in online advertising and visual inspection. And I've also served as a president and CEO of an AI startup company in Japan. As you can see in my project highlights, I've done many projects in various industries like advertising, IT, construction, and manufacturing. I actually started my data science career in around 2012 when we first did online advertising ad optimization, creating predictive models. If we show this ad to this person, what's the probability that this person would click it, or probably that this person would buy this product within 3 months, and things like that. I did these kind of tabular data analysis for about 2 or 3 years. And then around 2015, when deep learning was a major trend, I went into image recognition, deep learning, I've applied those technology mainly in manufacturing, where visual inspection was a major problem, and then applied deep learning technology to make it more efficient. Okay. So this is the agenda I have for today, 3 points. First, I'd like to introduce TIS for those who may not be familiar with us. And second, introducing a generative AI platform. And lastly, case studies for just a walkthrough of some of the use cases that we have where we apply these technologies. Okay, so first, introduction to TIS. So TIS is one of the independent IT groups in Japan, listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange Prime Market. We have about 57 group companies, and we provide professional IT services such as consulting, system development, and IT, and outsourcing. Company itself, the group company itself is quite large. It has a number of, as you can see, we have about 22,000 employees. We also have expanding presence in the Asian market. First phase in 1988, so we started a business in China, and then went into Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, and now we're expanding to the ASEAN business expansion. So now, this is the main topic I'd like to talk about today, our generative AI platform. Okay, so when you look at like a trend in 2025, I think many people will agree that AI agent is one major trend that's coming. And this technology is moving us beyond simple chatbots and into what we call human AI collaborative society. And I believe that the promise here is immense. It's like improving productivity, making more operation efficient, faster operations. But more importantly, I think it's the first one there, securing time for creative work that humans should be doing, right? And so what is AI agents? At a very high level, so the user assigns a task to this AI agent, like document creation, idea generation, business design, pretty much anything that can be done in the digital world. And this AI agent has access and it can interact with tools like team collaboration and system integration and document search or web search. All the necessary tools that you need, that the AI agent needs to accomplish this task. And it does this in an automatic manner. So this is the AI agent. And I'd like to get a little bit more on the technical side. So when you talk about AI agents, some people think that it's like one gigantic AI that can do everything, but that's usually not the case. Instead of having one giant AI, what we usually do is what we call a multi-AI agent system. And you have several simple AI agent systems that work together. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 AI agent systems that work as a team, just like if you like humans, right? Like you work as a team and accomplish some complex tasks. And how you combine these AI agents is the key to creating this AI applications. And there are several ways, typical ways of combining these. And one of the most simple and most oftenly used is the one that's shown here. It's the orchestration model. So this is just a simple use case, but you see this person here on the left, and he's asking how should travel expenses be reimbursed for a relocation. So a person asks these kind of questions to AI agent, and it goes to this orchestrator AI agent. And this orchestrator AI agent, the only thing that it does is it analyzes what the question is and routes the question to the appropriate sub-agent. So you can see that inside here, there's this internal manual AI agent, and there's a web search AI agent, and an internal system AI agent. So there's several smaller AI agents that can do specific tasks. So all it does is routes it to the specific AI agent. This is a very natural and simple multi-AI agent system. But there's more. So the orchestration model is just one of the many architectures that are that people use to create these multi-AI agent systems. And we call these AI designs or architecture, or some people call it the AI agentic workflow. You can call it whatever you want, but there's different types. And for example here, there's this simple workflow where you have task 1, 2, 3, 4, and you proceed in that order. There's also like a task split and merge. There's also generation review. I like this one. You have one agent creating some kind of output, and you have another agent that's reviewing it. So just like a like a member and a boss, working together to create a good document. And you can also have like a task decomposition execution where you start out with a very complex task, and you have one agent that splits this into manageable small tasks, and then execute it in those small tasks sequentially. Okay, so as you can see, there's all these different types of designs that actually are working in the background. And when you actually create one of these AI agent systems, it's important that the engineer is able to identify which kind of architecture is appropriate for that purpose. And if you are introducing like a platform to your company, it's also important that the platform has this flexibility to um, to apply these kind of all different kinds of architectures. So this brings us to our generative AI platform, and I'm not here to do a sales talk, so just one slide about this. But as you can see, this is the you can see the main UI here. It's basically a system where the user, no, not us, but the user can create the AI agent applications. And there's lots of tools built into this. And you can see at the bottom here, there's standard set of useful tools, such as document search tools and document editing tools, system access tools, and web search tools. It also comes with no-code multi-agent builder, and which can create all kinds of AI architectures. So now let's go into the case studies. So I have 4 case studies right here. This is the first one. This is automated text analysis for contracts. So imagine you're working for a legal department or a audit firm, and you have lots of contracts, right? And you want to sort of sort it out, make an Excel or a database of these contracts. But you just don't want the name of the PDF files for these contracts. You want lots of information about them, like maybe the company name or the contract amount, contract period, or extension info. So there's these informations that you also want with these contracts, right? Traditionally, what you had to do was you have to open these PDF files and read the contract and get the information manually, because these information aren't in the metadata, right? So these are in natural languages. But now, since we have generative AI, you can loop through all these documents, get the information that you want, structure it, and put it in a database. And once you have it in a database, now you can link it to other systems that you work with. So that's one use case of generative AI and AI agents. Second use case, document review. So in business, if one person writes a document, another person has to review it. And if it's just 1 or 2 documents, that's fine. But when you have tons of documents that you have to review, well, that can be very time consuming. And so, of course, you can't fully automate this, because that would sort of defeat the purpose of reviewing it. But if AI can do like a preview then that will help the reviewer review the actual document, right? So what we do here is we give the document itself that's being reviewed, and also this review checklist. So this review checklist is like the rule book, right? So like the naming rule or the comment rule or parameter consistency. So all the rules that need to be checked for this document. And the AI agent can sort of loop through all these rules and give a result. Say this rule is okay, this rule is not, and if it's not good, then the AI agent can comment on why it's not good, and the reviewer can use this as an input of to review himself or herself. Another use case is automatic creation of custom reports. So this is an interesting case of like how should I say this? Like a style transfer for natural languages. So in many business cases, you have to report to the customer some kind of technical details, like a system went down or something went wrong or the like a product went bad or something like that. And you have these technical details that you have to report to the customer. Well, so what would be the input for this report? Well, usually like the engineering department will give you like an Excel that has all the information, the technical information that needs to be written that to report, but it's not in the language that needs to be to give to the customer, right? So to present to the customer, you have to say like, dear valued customer, thank you for your blah, blah, blah. So what this system does is it inputs the investigation report, the technical details, and also has a RAG that you get that is close to the report that that's being written. And then instead of using the information in the past reports, it copies the style, like the polite language, and then creates the custom report for that investigation report that's at hand. So that's one use case. So the last use case is automated Excel data transfer. And I know this isn't a very interesting one. It's not a very exciting, but it's one that's oftenly used in companies. So like, when you work at an office, there are some scenarios where you have to copy data from Excel A to Excel B, right? And somehow this isn't automated. And if these formats, Excel A and Excel B, if their formats are the same, there's nothing stopping you from automating it, right? You can just write a program, you can macro or something like that. But when a lot of times the source file, the XLA, comes from your business partners and you have no control over what format it comes in. Moreover, maybe you might think that we can program it by looking at the column names, but the column names are written in natural language and they have variations, right? And you can't program it to like copy this context to that context. And these kinds of tasks are still done manually. Just because they can't be automated. It's not a creative one. It's not a very productive task, but it can't be done programmatically, so somebody has to do it manually. But now, since we have deep learning, since we have a generative AI, we can it can absorb this variation in the column names, and it can copy these data from XLA to XLB. So this is the last example, but the point I want to make is that when you talk about generative AI, people think that you have to have this like very big vision, or like you're trying to put in this enormous, like complex system, but it's actually not. It's I think what most companies should start with is these simple tasks that just happen not to be automated yet, and that are not productive, not creative, but can't be automated just by like Python programming. And these things, there's lots of these tasks that can be automated quickly using generative AI. And these are the actual tasks that should be done first.
Okay, thank you. Done yet?
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. So let's move to Tony.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tony from AEB Taiwan. It's a company of ASOCIO Group. It's a privilege. I speak with you today on a topic about the AI agent services, and especially on implementation layer from Taiwan. And right now, around the world, everyone is rushing to explore the application of AI agent. And for AEB, we also want to bring these innovations into our customer, into the enterprise, especially in practical and some meaningful way to improve the efficiency of our customers. Whether it is about the knowledge reservoir or expense, reimbursement, and even to simplify the deep application. Here's a simple example thing. And how are the AI agent service actually created in enterprise? For our progress, the first is very important. We need to clarify and clearly define what is one to do about the AI agent service. And to address the AI agent service what we want, then we can, along with the data and the process, to build our AI agent services. And the second, the last, we choose a suitable AI agent platform to build and manage our AI agent. Finally, we publish the AI agent service to the users who need to learn, yes. Okay. For AI agent service, we can divide it into 3 stages. The first stage should be AI agent phase, where the agent can help you to recognize some documents and provide quick Q&A. The second stage is that general AI edge. The second stage is the AI edge services, which enables the agent to carry out a specific and simple tasks. The final stage should be a multiple function AI agent service phase, and where the agent can perform more complex and robot-like service across different tasks. Yeah. And build on what I just mentioned, the AI agent service will be eventually everywhere and labelized. Sometimes maybe I just need a simple chatbot service, and perhaps I need a complex, logical-driven autonomous operation task to close different tasks for my customers. So the AI agent services sorry. So the AI agent service will this different AI agent service, different type of AI agents will coexist and become the natural part of our world. Okay. all of these AI services, the scenarios, can range from our regular tasks in every day. Something like maybe we just want to be answering a question about IT report, about the IT report. And then much more support should be such as helping you to consolidate and manage your finance budget plan. For the AI agent service, they can even access to indicate accurate delivery timelines where you are accepting new orders. So so the AI agents should be, sorry. Yeah, I have a simple examples about AI agents. In the past, if I want to apply for leave at work, I need to log into our living system and fill out a form. Then I need to waiting for the approval process. And today, when I want to apply that, I can just simply speak to an AI agent. Then the LLM service will try to understand what my intent, then connect through MCP service interaction and integration with my leave system to complete my request. And finally, notify me of the result. With the support of various LLM model service and combined with the MCP server for MCP capabilities in transformation, communication, and interaction. AI agents are able to handle more and more complex tasks. And today, I can use in natural language to do more with AI agent. As long as my AI agent platform includes the AI agent what you want to perform and register in the menu of MCP server or not. Okay. To summarize the ongoing AI agent service, every proactive AI agent service can trigger through a simple feature, such as line and email, or a spoken phrase, or a user action. Once activated, a well-orchestrated AI agent will begin executing the tasks one after another, just like a human being, and until the job is done. And I truly believe that every enterprise should be filled with countless AI agents in their enterprise, and not only run on the cloud platform, but operating also within their on-premise environment. And AI agent should never just confined into a simple environment. They must be able to communicate and interact with different platforms, different data sources, different application system, and even integrate with different AI services. Or to conclude, I recommend enterprise should establish its own AI agent service platform. On this platform should collect continuous diverse data and evolve into a knowledge base. It also must be capable of transforming the knowledge and a company along with the data and the process to be AI agents. And finally, through a well-designed scenarios orchestration, this platform can perform more robotic service automation and to support across the whole organization. Yes. Thank you, you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So the panelists have made excellent opinions about service AI. And here, I want to bring your attention about one concern. That is the quality of the AI service. Okay. I mean, many companies want to sell AI service to me, and they say that the accuracy is 99%. I spend a lot of money and use the service, and the accuracy is 50%. So what can I say? Okay. So I think ASOCIO can play an important role to assist developing this certificate process to ensure the quality of AI service. There will be benefit to the whole AI industry. Okay. Now let's move to the question section. Okay. For Mr. Wen, you mentioned about human intervention and environment, right? And I would like you to elaborate more why it's so critical in AI deployment, especially service and implementation.
Okay, before I answer that, I think I missed out one slide of the different services that was there, but because of the bit, I skip it. Let me just quickly run through the 4 services which I see prevalent, at least in Malaysia. I told you I'm from the insurance company, and we are not into the full AI, I can tell you. But certainly we focus AI on where? Customer base, customer facing. So we do a lot of that. The internal one, we are more using like robotics and RPA and all that kind of thing. Yeah. But basically the 4 areas is basically customer facing AI. I think it's a very common one, not only in Malaysia. Vision, speech and language. I think that also can relate to medical. That's not for me, right? Yeah. Vision, speech and language. I think this is going to be a very helpful one, especially for the medical for people who are a bit disabled. You know, I think in the hospitals, but I'm not sure how advanced they are. Maybe my colleague here can tell me a bit more from the medical side, the government. But certainly, I think that's one area that very advanced medical can be involved in there. And thirdly, enterprise analytics solution. That one I've been doing that for years already. Analytics, data analytics, all this. Yeah. And finally, public goods, AI public goods. I think a colleague just gave a very good example of what government can do. I wouldn't want to repeat that. Certainly, good and smart society. So these are 4 things I think I missed out just now. I just quickly skimmed it through. I thought I could get away with it. You know, I kept looking at the time too, like, you know. So anyway, you asked the question about a human being. I think I kept saying that we don't know what we don't know. Okay, today we may know exactly what we know, but what happened in about 10 years' time when AI becomes a decision-making person? I think that's like who mentioned just now 99%. I don't think it's 99% correct, accurate now. I don't want to mention one of the big firm was actually they use AI and found that a lot of mistakes. This is a government one. You come to me separately, I'll tell you who they are. And it's a mistake. And I have found mistake, you know. You can't just tell the AI, say, look, can you please tell me this, without giving the AI exactly what you want and you know your subject matter. If you don't know your subject matter, I suggest you don't use it. Like, I dare not teach my wife because she just asked something, and anyway, medical, okay, you all know that, she's medical, but other thing I would not, okay? So that answer your question on why human being. Maybe not today. Today we are still very much human being, worried about jobs. But in years to come, I'm worried that company may say, look, I'm going to get rid of 15,000 people because I can save money. But not knowing that out of the 15,000, maybe 1,000 are decision-making plan, okay? So I bring back the term trust. Trust is the alignment between services and integrity. Yeah, I don't have to quote me, but this is something, you know, we all must practice at some point. Okay, let me also share a bit of this information, don't take a bit too much time. In our study, research for ASOCIO's policy in the region, we found that there's a lot of diversity in maturity of ethics, governance, and regulation. Now, that's the biggest challenge, you know. And why is that? Because I think everybody is trying to follow each other and trying to do things that they may not be 100%. And secondly, academic and higher institutions are not having training in ethics and governance. I don't expect them to have a Bachelor of Science in AI, no. But certainly they must have curriculum in ethics, governance, integrity, fairness, bias, and all that kind of thing. And I find that in the region is very disparate. Okay, so these are the 2 key findings I thought ASOCIO, you mentioned correctly, can play a role to become a platform to help. You can't do much because the government and the industry of your economy is the one that make the decision. So I hope that sort of give you an idea why human still exists. I hope. Don't believe in all the movie we see where, you know, it doesn't work put this way, okay? At least from my point of view, you know, our next generation cannot be just humanoid, so to speak. So I hope that answered the question a bit.
Okay, so you make a very important point that if you don't understand AI, don't use it, okay? So the important thing is that we need to educate people to understand AI and use it correctly, okay? For example, this morning, I just asked AI, in this panel, should I wear the tie, you know? It turned out that in the panel, I'm the only one has a tie, you see? Okay. You cannot say that AI is wrong, right? Okay, anyway, I pass to tyranny, okay? You mentioned about the national data bank. I think that's very important. Actually, Taiwan tried to build our own national data bank, but it's still in progress, and there's a lot of experience we can share to each other. So I want to ask, what are the obstacles of government agencies in data compilation for AI?
When we talk national data bank, there's 2 parts. One is open data. It is not sensitive of any kinds. You can build it into one big bucket, like a centralized model, put everything in the same data lake or lake house. But sensitive data, it needs to be treated a lot more carefully. The way Thailand is working on is that we build a road to connect to the data of every agencies, but the key to open the door to let the data flow in is still belong to the agencies who owns the data. We don't keep the data, it's decentralized. So it's two model for two different things, National Bank for AI training, and then the other platform, this is data exchange for sensitive data. Now the main obstacle, Thailand is unlike Estonia or Singapore. Government has many law and act. As in I think in Singapore and maybe Malaysia as well, all the data of every agencies belong to the government because they are the same corporate, same corporation, right? Um, in Thailand, we're not. Like Department of Revenue would be one incorporation, Department of Digital Economy would be another. So because we copied our Data Protection Act copied from GDPR, where most of the country in Europe are single government, we are like silo, a little bit more silo of the government because every agency has its own law to govern how it works with data. So that's one of the main issues, that integrating data in Thailand is difficult, but I think Japanese is the same. It's a little bit difficult to make all the government agencies release the data out at once to do analytics. So what we're trying to do now is to have a data sharing act that based on specifics architecture, that we were to link the data for exchange for only for the analytic purposes where no data is stored centrally, it's still owned by the data owner. And then with the push of buttons, the data can flow in, we can do analytics, data pipelining, data consolidation, and don't keep the raw data. So the country still have the single source of truth for all the data bucket. So we already have a law that says specifically that government can share data, but it doesn't happen because in practice, if you don't tell how, what's the mechanism, what's the governance, very specifically, most of the government division is still hesitate. So I guess a new data sharing act that comes and tell it specific way to do things would maybe help. Because so we're working on that and we'll see. And maybe next year I can come tell you whether it works or not.
Okay, yeah, I really want to know what happened. Okay, now for Rio, I think you give a very good presentation about generative AI, the platform you develop in your company. So would you like to share your viewpoint about the adoption of generative AI? What's the difference from generative AI and the adoption of the traditional AI?
Yes, so I started my career doing more of a traditional AI, and now a couple past years I've been doing generative AI, and yes, I do see a very different approach. Um, in the traditional AI, all the applications that I've encountered was very narrow and deep, whereas generative AI, I feel it's more shallow and wide. And what I mean by that is, in the traditional AI, will usually have one specific purpose for creating that AI model. So it may be like defect detection in manufacturing, or like forecasting sales or something like that. So you have a very specific purpose for this AI, and you gather all the data, and you have data scientists, and it's all about statistics, it's about the algorithm, it's about having very specific needs and specific data, and you create the system and deploy it. And that, that's good, and that's not gone, it's still there. But in generative AI, like the use cases I've shown, each of the applications is very small, like copying data from Excel to Excel or things like that. And you don't create a whole system just for that purpose. You usually deploy a generative AI platform or something of that sort, and that's used for many cases, right? So it could be used, one, for maybe transferring Excel, and maybe used for like writing emails or creating documents and things like that. So it's very shallow and wide. And so you don't need, it's more of an engineering than a data science. And the applications, not necessarily is made by an IT engineer, so that the user actually creates the application. So it's more about how easy is it to use? Does Is it the UI or the UX good? Do people want to use it? Do people feel comfortable using it? So it's much more of a engineering system UI UX approach rather than the traditional AI where it's like science, statistics, and algorithm. So I think that's the key difference.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's move to Tony. In your talk, you mentioned about AI agent. Okay, it seems that you have spent a lot of effort there. So can AI agent integrate with traditional analytic AI to enable deeper and more meaningful interactions?
My answer is yes. For the traditional analytical AI data model should be focused on more structured data base. So from the data science view, we can do more from the cube, maybe do some machine learning and machine learning to the result. And then, as my opinion, it's good to catch, to retrieve from the machine learning result for the integration interface. We can optimize the analysis. We can optimize and improve the result from the machine learning from the traditional analytical AI data model, then can interact with our users via AI agent and through maybe some interface. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Actually, we still have about 10 minutes left, but probably don't have enough time to go through the second round.
Let me share one last
Okay.
bit with you very quickly. I know all the time. I think one of the things that I was thinking, what are the future risks? You know, we can talk about future. So based on my research, there are 3 future risks that we got to be careful. One is they call it systemic and society risk. You're going to figure out what it is. I'm not going to explain to you. And then economic and labor risk. I think you all know that, right? Labor risk is definitely a potential risk for AI thing. And the last one, technical and security risk. And let me read something that I thought is so good, I'd like to rephrase it. Yeah?
Go ahead.
The future risks of AI are not merely technical glitches. They are threats to the fabric of trust, as I mentioned again and again, that holds our societies together. Trust in information, in fair systems, in economic stability, and in our own agency. I think that basically sums up the potential future risks that we may face.
Okay.
So I think that's all I have.
That's a very good point. Okay, so anyone of you want to
Sure, why don't we share a few minutes? I think to develop AI in a country, you need to do 3 things at the same time. One is AI technology, of course. The second one would be governancing rules and regulations that is about the right level for each and every countries to go. And the third is human development, because people need to know how to use AI. It's easy to use AI, but to use this AI effectively, efficiently, correctly, it's something you need to learn. So I think every country needs to develop this 3 pillar at the same time to make it work.
That's a very, very good point. Yeah, okay.
One of the key points I'd like to mention is that I said this in the presentation as well, but there's so many tasks like you do daily that aren't creative or productive, but people still have to do it because it couldn't be automated yet. And so these tasks are the ones that would benefit more from using generative AI. And I think once you incorporate that into your the company and the system, then you can go on to do more creative and complex things with generative AI. I think the first step is actually doing the most basic, the daily tasks that just aren't automated but not creative.
Okay, so do you have a few words?
I think the AI agent service should be the future in the world, and then it's very, very different from the generative AI. And I think we need to consider about bringing the AI agent service from the consumer and into the enterprise. I think it will do more improvement about and help our customers for the AI service for the business. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So could you, yeah.
Yes, I'd just like to make a quick comment. First and foremost, AI is right because you're supposed to wear tie because you're the moderator. So AI was correct
Right.
on that context, just to give you some credit.
Thank you.
Number two, I think in order to regulate AI, you really need to have a deep understanding what AI does in the awareness level. If you don't really understand something, you cannot govern it. So I think everybody's in the stage of learning, and surely at some point we will have rules and regulations against AI. The third one I'd like to mention, I think Woon mentioned earlier too about services, which is great. One of the companies in Malaysia is doing this at the moment. Usually when you employ somebody, you would have reference checks. So now what they did is this company, I won't mention it with the company, provides services where you put the guy's name and his ID number. AI goes in and checks all about his past records, if he has any criminal record, misconduct and everything else, and come back and tell the company, you may not hire this guy because he has a past record. So these things are getting now in a different light to make a right decision, okay? There's also one country, I cannot mention him. They have a very strong union. I think Woon knows about the country. They are going to be protesting for companies that deploy more than 40% of AI capability in the organization. And there's a fear of losing jobs. So I think all this comes to awareness of what actually AI does for the good of the company, for the good of the organization, and for the good of the society. So I think we should probably learn from this. But I must also say that I take a lot of positive points from all the learned panelists. And of course, you, sir, that I'm impressed that you're wearing tie too. So I'm glad, because I'm wearing tie as well. So we are two. Thank you. Almost same color.
Yeah, so the AI is correct. You know that it's
Yeah, but all these panelists that don't need to wear tie. You're the moderators, you have to wear tie. Yeah, with the exception of yourself.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I didn't tell you that I'm actually part of the National AI Office in Malaysia when we first started this year. So one of the questions they ask is, should we regulate AI? Exactly what you say. So the industry don't want to regulate AI. Because once you regulate AI, you're solving a headache with a hammer, not a Panadol. So the industry don't want to have the government to come in, you can't do this, you can't do that. The Europeans' AI regulation is very, very strict. The Indian one and the American are pretty more relaxed. And we are in Southeast Asia, we are still emerging. If you're going to start putting, I hope you can pass it back to the Thailand government, please don't regulate AI because then your Malaysia will follow you and all that. Yeah? So that's something, but we do suggest an external audit, just like the Big Four, Big Five, to audit the AI because when there's no third-party audit, there's no accountability.
right.
So that's my last word, not just to you, but to the entire region here. Please tell your government, don't kill AI. We are just starting only, all right? Thank you.
Okay, so we'll pass your opinion to our vice president. He came in this morning, okay? Okay. Okay, so anyone, the audience, have any comment? Please, yeah.
Okay. Hi, Bill Liu. I'm from Singapore. Actually, I was very interested in Professor Tirani's, overview of strategy of AI in Thailand. What attracted me is I think the statistics you mentioned about AI manpower. I think you mentioned the figure of 90,000. Yeah. Well, just to share with you, in Singapore, IMDA, our government agency on IT, actually surveyed the availability of AI professions in Singapore. 2023 was only 5,000, and that it hopes to triple that in 5 years. That means, it's only 15,000 in 2028. So it's a big gap. Of course, it's a definition of what is a AI professional. So another statistics in Singapore is that we have 40 IT professional. So 15,000 out of 240 is actually a very small number, not even 1%. And I personally believe that, you know, AI professionals percentage over overall IT manpower should be much higher. So interested in how Thailand you're going to train and produce the number of 90,000. Thank you.
Current survey by Ministry of Higher Education's, I think they identified this group AI professional at about 50,000 people in Thailand. But of course, definition we use and Singaporean use might be different. I mean, when we say AI professional, AI innovators, they don't have to be AI expert and can develop AI. They just need to be any professions who use AI so proficiently that they can come up with good AI services idea that can be paired with researcher together to develop that services. Those batch is checked about 50,000. So 90,000 is twice as much, which is not that easy also. Yeah. Sure.
On the comment on that, do you see in Thailand a problem? Sorry, last question. May I have your permission? Thank you. He's a ruler, so I have to ask him. Yeah, so, you know, the age group, there's a big gap at the moment, and the youngsters are coming in. There's a huge gap between these two, and you find that the interest is no longer the same, right? In most cases, the children don't follow the parents, what the parents have done and they want to do, although that's the aspiration of every parent. So that is causing a lot of these gaps between society. So I think AI can help solve some of those problems in between. Do you have a comment for that? Just wanted to ask you.
I don't know if I totally agree with that because right now parents and kids in schools have, at least people I know, I didn't do a survey or anything, but I have talked to a lot of people from Ministry of Education, higher educations, and they have a really different view of this technology. I mean, parents, older parents, because they don't understand the technology as well, they tend to fear it. It's not a fear of missing out, it's a fear that my kid will learn nothing in school if I give them AI or iPad for that matter. But for the kids, they're having fun using AI. So I think the gap is bigger rather than smaller, in my opinion. Of course, being a professor for so long, I think students need to learn how to use AI. People who need to change is the teacher. They need to change how to evaluate the homework that use AI to AI to create. They need to see if the kids can verify, validate, fact check, know how to do fact check validations. They know how to prompt, submit the prompt, and all that. So I think it will get better soon as people start using it. Right now, higher ed, most of the universities in Thailand already buy license of either one of the big brand and to give it to their students. So the people who know how to use AI will increase quite fast, I believe, in Thailand. But for older generations like Gen X and above, it's still more and more difficult, and they fear it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, last question. There.
Mike is coming.
Mark.
There you go.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Alan. I'm from Nepal. Most of our governments are looking at AI being used at the consumer level where deepfake videos, a lot of fake audios and fake pictures are being created in the social media. And that's pushing regulators to look at different policies to regulate AI.
Right.
And I think more than the industrial or commercial use of AI, I think that's really fearing our governments are the use of fake news, the use of fake identities, especially of celebrities and government leaders. And I think that's a fear that most leaders have in terms of governments being toppled over for fake news, especially in terms of corruption, in terms of other misdeeds. And I think as we caution our policymakers towards regulating AI, this fact is is really pushing the governments to think in terms of regulating. And we've seen that in Nepal happening, where social media, and especially as a result, because of the extensive use of consumer AI by Gen Z and younger generations, without realizing the implications of such content being created. I think more usage of fact checks, ensuring and looking at whether these are real videos or deep fake videos, I think needs to be done. I agree that we need to caution our governments in regulating AI, but I think that's getting accelerated because of the uses of social media and so the benefits that we get versus what the government sees as a big threat. I think an agency like ASOCIO also needs to. I haven't checked the policy document yet. We'll do that later, but I'm sure it's already outlined. But we need to ensure the balance between proper uses of AI versus some of the AI in the hands of youngsters who do not really are thinking of wrongdoing, but doing it for fun, but it's implicating it in a much larger impact, especially with government policies. That's my 2 bits. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Yeah, very good. Okay, so I think time's up. Okay, so thank you for joining this panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our applause. Let's have a photo. Let's have a group photo. Moderator and our panelists, please stand for a group photo. Would you like to join? You're our captain. Please, Chairman, Mr. Stan. Okay, looking at our cameraman. This was our panel 1. Wonderful discussions. AI, tie or no tie, AI is good. Thank you. Our applause once again. Thank you. That was panel 1. 我们现在麻烦请工作人员帮我们调整一下 for panel 2. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Please be seated. And lady, please be seated. And now we will adjust our seating for panel 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, in panel 1, we talked about AI, what its usage for our future, AI service, AI infrastructure. Panel 1 was about AI service, AI agents and everything. And now we will move on to panel 2. This session will be focusing on the core foundations that is powering our AI development, from computing power and data systems to cloud platform. We will be exploring on how to build intelligent infrastructure that drives our AI future. We shall start our panel 2 at 10 minutes past 3. 10 minutes past 3.